The disaster that struck Japan led the staff and pupils of FICS to do something to raise money. Bento boxes were the order of the day, and we went along to find out more.
Where did the idea come to make up bento boxes?
Some Year 11 students and I were discussing what had happened in Japan during an art lesson, and we decided that we wanted to do something to raise some funds to help people over there. So we started throwing ideas around about what we could do, and the idea grew out of that, really. So we came and spoke to Mr. Isaacs, asked if we could use his classroom to do the project, and he said yes, so we kind of took off from there. The bento box is a Japanese lunchbox. It's a box with lots of small amounts of different foods in there, and it's very popular over in Japan.
So Japanese having their bento box is one of the ways that they get the protein is through something called tamagoyaki, which is a very simple egg omelette made using one egg and 3 other ingredients. Those ingredients are an egg, 1 tablespoon of water, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Any soy sauce is fine, you can use dark or light, and half a teaspoon of sugar. If you wish, you can also add in some bonito flakes or some chili flakes just to give it that little bit of extra kick. And all you do is just beat that together until it's nicely blended. Okay, it produces quite a dark coloured mix. Okay, a little bit darker than you would normally see from an omelette. That comes from the soy sauce. Get your pan nice and hot. What you should have is so that when you put in a couple of drops of water, you actually sizzle and dance. So that starts cooking straight away. Which that is about there. Okay? Into that, I'm just going to put a tiny little splash of olive oil just to prevent some veg oil just to prevent anything sticking. And then I can put in my omelette mixture. That goes in, just straight in, so that starts cooking straight away. While it's cooking, in order to get air in, all you do is you just keep mixing it with a fork. So obviously don't use your best non-stick pan for this if you're a little bit heavy-handed, because that can damage it. As it starts to set, which this is just beginning to do, you then stop mixing. Okay, next step, just use a normal fish slice, and as it starts to release, fold it over to create a rectangle. Okay, and then as it releases a little bit more, fold the edges over, so that what you get is a nice little parcel. Okay, let that cook off for a little bit longer, and then finally flick that over onto the other side. Okay, just use your fish slice just to help press it down. That binds it all together and just helps it to cook through. Okay, let that brown off for about another 30 seconds to a minute. Just keep it moving so it doesn't stick. It shouldn't stick if you're using your non-stick frying pans. Okay, I'm going to flick that over onto the other side. You can see how that started to brown off quite nicely. Okay, final cook through, and that now comes off the heat. Okay, and onto a plate. And when you cut through the middle, you should be able to see how fluffy and light that is on the inside. Really delicate omelette. Okay, have a taste.
Yes, please. Oh, I knew there was a good reason for this. Thank you. contests are often held where bento arrangers compete for the best decorated arrangements.
We could have taken orders for probably over 200. It was a really popular project, but unfortunately we just haven't got the capability of doing that many boxes at this time, so we had to stop at 136.
Yeah, there's quite a few orders. We had to stop taking orders a few weeks back or a week back or something. Yeah,
And how does it feel to be involved with this?
Yeah, it's quite good, raising money for charity.
The best rice to use if you're doing sushi, if you can't get hold of the sushi rice, is pudding rice, because it's got the right starch content and it goes really, really sticky as it cools down, which is what you need for sushi. Okay, so the Japanese have little rice balls as well. It's an easy way of getting your rice and taking it around. They pre-cook it and then they can form it into shapes. Quite often it is just as simple as shaped between their hands, but what we've done, we've followed some of the Japanese bento box art, so we've used different styles of cookie cutter to give some different shapes and a bit more interest.
We really need to say a big thank you to people in the community who have helped us out with this project. The idea was that we would try to do this without spending too much money on the raw materials, and so we need to say a big thank you to Government House Gardens, who donated a load of vegetables to us for the ingredients, Sea Fish Limited, who donated a load of fish for the project, the Sea Fish Chandlery, who gave us some of our ingredients, and also Falkland Farmers, who provided the boxes to put the food in, and also Jack's, who gave us little bags to dish things out in.
Community come together.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone.
And at the end of the day, Joe told us over £500 had been raised. Some of the lovely people at Customs who we saw receive their bento boxes thoroughly enjoyed them. What a lovely morning and a lovely idea.